I'm Raymond Donald Hong. I'm just outside San Francisco City Hall on a Monday where hundreds of same-sex couples were waiting overnight in the open rain to acquire what is probably the most important paper in their lives, a marriage license. They came from around the Bay Area, throughout the state, and even all parts of the country. They waited in line after San Francisco City Hall closed its doors. Truckers passing by honked their horns in solidarity. As the evening grew colder, they sought warmth from gas heaters, huddled under tarps, and slept in tents. Civic Center looked like a homeless encampment. At 11 p.m., it started to rain and they sheltered themselves with umbrellas. The line went around the corner of Grove and Polk and ended at the southern entrance of City Hall. At 2 a.m., the line went as far as the second corner of Van Ness and Grove. At 5 a.m., the line reached the third corner of McAllister and Van Ness. By 6:30, the line snaked 3/4 around the block and ended at Polk and McAllister. And still, the rain continued to fall. At 8:15 a.m., the homeless encampment turned into a parade of rain-soaked umbrellas. Mayor Stern and Jan Levine were turned away on Saturday and Sunday. They came back to City Hall in the early morning hours on Monday.
Well, what's really great is that there's been such a great response to this. You know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people from all over the country, not just San Francisco, have flown in. And if I were a justice, I would have to look at that fact alone and say there's a lot of people here asking for rights, asking for the same rights that everyone else has. And I'd have to look at that very seriously. So I'm really not upset that you know, other people are against this. I think whatever happens, it's going to be a long fight. But the fact that so many people are out here is really great.
We always had a joke that our kids would grow up and be able to get married before we ever could, and we may actually beat them.
And just exactly what has sparked the social and political upheaval that has turned the nation on its ear and has resulted in people flying in as far as Africa to get married? It was none other than the U.S. President himself. On January 20, San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom was in Washington, D.C. at the State of the Union address, where President George Bush announced his opposition to same-sex marriage by stating that the Defense of Marriage Act protects marriage under federal law as the union of a man and a woman. If judges insist on forcing their arbitrary will upon the people, the only alternative left to the people would be the constitutional process. Our nation must defend the sanctity of marriage. With 33 state legislatures one by one outlawing same-sex marriages and an additional 5 states with laws approved by voters banning same-sex marriages, the window of opportunity for newly elected Mayor Newsom was narrowing. 2 weeks later, the mayor informed his top aides of his intent for them to research the legal possibility of having the office of the county clerk issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. A happily flabbergasted Kate Kendall from the National Center for Lesbian Rights was recruited within 24 hours to assist in the process. The following Monday, top staffers from the mayor's office met behind closed doors with Kendall and representatives from the ACLU and Equality California. Within 3 days, longtime activists Phyllis Lyon and Del Martin, who have been together for 51 years, were asked to be the first couple to be married. City Assessor Mabel Teng performed their marriage ceremony on February 12 in a secluded room with 20 witnesses. The remarkable and profound weight of history was heavy enough to reduce Kate Kendall and former San Francisco Supervisor Roberta Achtenberg to tears. After Lyon and Martin's I do were heard around the world, the obstacle to same-sex marriages was torn down like the Berlin Wall, and the floodgates to the county clerk were released. Thousands of gay and lesbian couples dashed to City Hall for 4 days of the marriage marathon, and others gathered outside room 200 to thank the mayor as their new hero.
Yeah, I'm just honored and privileged to be mayor of the greatest city in the world. And you know what makes good cities, great cities, the quality of people. And I'll tell you, I don't know of another city with more spirit, another city more diversity, more respect for one another. And at the end of the day, that's kind of America that I look forward to. It's kind of America I look forward to living in, and my great-great-grandkids living in, and that's an America with no discrimination, where everyone's advancing together and prospering together across all our differences. And it's a proud day, and
You're making history today. You're making history today.
I'm not making history. People in this room are making history. And finally, a recognition, some rationale that what we've been doing in the past is wrong. We've been discriminating against people, even in San Francisco. It's got to stop. I took an oath of office, the Constitution of the State of California, the U.S. Constitution, and there's nothing in that document that says we have a right to discriminate against people. And for the last 2 days, we've finally been doing our job here in San Francisco.
Now, the rain started at 11 o'clock last night, and these people were waiting in that rain for up to 12 hours. But after these same-sex couples become spouses for life, they will have proven that love conquers all, even bad weather. For Outlook Video, this is Raymond Donald Hong.